Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the What a Deck profile for the Imperion Magnum Turbo deck. I'm just going to go through everything in here, and then I'll explain how it works. So we're playing 3 Valkyrion the Magna Warrior, 3 Berzion the Electro Magna Warrior, 3 Block Dragon, 3 Gamma Seal the Sea Turtle Kaiju, 3 Elemental Hero Prisma, 3 Alpha the Electromagnet, 3 Beta the Electromagnet, and 3 Gamma the Electromagnet. For our spells, we have 3 Polymerization, 3 Fusion Sage, 3 Trade-In, 1 Foolish Burial, 3 Forbidden Lance, 1 Pot of Avidity, and for traps, 3 Magnet Force. The extra deck contains 2 Superconduction Machine Imperion Magnum, or as he's known in America, Imperion Magnum, the Superconductive Battlebot. We're playing 1 Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon, 1 Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon, Hope Harbinger Titanic Galaxy, Lancelot, Ghost Knight of the Underworld, Utopia the Lightning, Utopia, Castel the Skyblasting Musketeer, Nightmare Shark, the Phantom Knight of Breaksword, Grampulse, Leviair, and 2 Gorgonic Guardian. The side deck I'll go over later. So the point of the deck is to summon this guy, Imperion Magnum. He has 4,000 attack, 4,000 defense, and can only be summoned by fusioning Valkyrion and Berzion. His effect is once per turn during either player's turn. When your opponent activates a spell trap or monster effect, you can negate and destroy. Also, if this face-up card you control leaves the field because of something your opponent does, you could special summon a Valkyrion and a Berzion from your deck, ignoring their summoning conditions. So not only does this stun, not only is it a 4K beat stick / defense wall, but if they somehow get rid of it, you're replacing it with these 2 that are just huge beat sticks in their own right. And of course, if they don't destroy those, you can always just fusion it back together again, which is pretty nice. So obviously, fusion summoning this is a 3-card combo. You need Valkyrion, you need Berzion, and you need Polymerization. So that's why we play 3 of those. And then a lot of the stuff in this deck is just other ways to get those. We play 3 Fusion Sage, because getting that is the same as getting Polymerization. It just lets you add Polymerization from your deck to your hand. We're playing Prisma, because this lets you reveal 1 fusion monster in your extra deck, send one of the materials listed on the card from your main deck to the graveyard, and this card's name becomes that monster's name. So you could send either Valkyrion or Berzion using this guy, and he'll replace either one of them. We also have Alpha, the Electromagnet Warrior. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 level 8 Magna Warrior from your deck to your hand, which is either one of these. So if you get 1 in Polymerization, you can use either of these 2 to get or become the other one. In addition to that, we're playing the other Magnet Warriors. We've got Beta and Gamma. Beta, when it's normal or special summoned, you can add 1 level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior from your deck to your hand. So this lets you search out Alpha, which lets you search out these. It's a little slow, but you run it anyway just because it helps to fill out with Magnet Warriors, have more rock monsters. Especially with Gamma, when this is normal summoned, you can special summon either of these 2 from your hand. This lets you make some of your rank 3 plays, in particular Gorgonic Guardian, because these are all rock type. And this is once per turn. During either player's turn, you can detach 1 material, target 1 monster your opponent controls, its attack becomes 0, and its effects are negated until the end of the turn. So this is pretty good. This works in stun. If you can get this out and Imperion Magnum, then you're pretty good because you can negate their effects with this and negate whatever else you need with that. We've also got protection in the form of Block Dragon. This is banish 3 earth monsters from your hand or graveyard to special summon this from your hand or graveyard. While this is on the field, rock-type monsters you control cannot be destroyed except by battle. Also, if it's sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 level 8 rock monster, which is either of these. It's actually up to 3 monsters whose level equal exactly 8, but the only ones you can search in this deck are these 2. So probably one of the best moves you could do with this deck is Fusion Summon, Superconduction first turn, and then you already have 2 rocks in the graveyard. If you have any of these other magnets in your hand, then you can summon Block Dragon from your hand or graveyard. And then you've got not only this guy who can negate, but he can't be destroyed by like Raigeki, Torrential Tribute, anything that destroys really. This is also a level 8. These are all level 8s, along with Gamma Seal we're playing, who's just like removal for things that Imperion Magnum can't get over. So with all these level 8s, that's why we're playing Trade-In to draw. Ideally, you want to get Block Dragon, because his effect can be used from the graveyard. But if you have extra versions of these, or Gamma Seal that you're not using, they can be a good trade-in target as well. All of these combined also allow you to make all these rank 8 plays that we've got in here, like the Galaxy and the Titanic, and Lancelot, who's another good stun to go with this already stun full deck. I haven't mentioned it already, but Foolish Burial, this is almost exclusively for sending Block Dragon to the graveyard. If you already have Block Dragon and you really need to summon it, you can also send any of your other rock monsters to the graveyard just so you have more material for it. Pot of Avidity is basically just a little recycling. if you do end up having to banish like both of these to get your block dragon out, and then you don't have the materials to fusion, this will let you shuffle 3 of your banished cards into the deck and draw 1 card. This is also 3 banished monsters in general, so you can use this on your opponent's cards too, if they happen to have something like Cosmo that uses their banished monsters, although it rarely comes up. That's why we only played it 1. And finally, we have a little bit of protection. We have Magnet Force, which is this turn, all monsters on the field whose original types are Machine and Rock are unaffected by your opponent's monster effects, and Forbidden Lance, which is target a monster, it loses 800 attack, but it's unaffected by spell trap cards. So this helps basically once you get out Imperion Magnum, you're playing this game of trying to bait out, your opponent's going to try to bait out your negation. They're going to try to destroy this or do something to this so that you have to negate. And these sort of help you with that. If they Raigeki, you can play Forbidden Lance, and this will still have 3,200 attack, enough to get over Blue Eyes. If they try to use a Castell, you can like Magnet Force. And then you've stopped them, you've saved this, and you could still negate whatever their second thing is. So again, like first turn, if you start with this, a block dragon, and either one of these, you've pretty much got game. They're not going to have enough resources to get rid of this. The extra deck for the most part is just a toolbox. Besides, I'd want to play at least 2 of those. You can almost play 3, except when one gets destroyed, you're summoning these 2 from the deck, and oftentimes one of them will get destroyed. So I think I've only summoned 3 of them in a game once. You're pretty good with 2. Same thing with the Gorgonic Guardian. You can play him at 3, but you're usually pretty good at 2. Levier I would probably run, because that'll let you get one of your banished Alpha, Beta, or Gammas back onto the field to make more rank 3s, and because when they get their effects when they're special summoned, you can do some other combos with that. Everything else is just a toolbox, fill it with whatever you want. I probably have too many rank 4s, considering I just have 1 level 4 monster in here, but it's your choice, do whatever you feel like, man. Finally, I should mention the side deck. The only thing that I'd really consider for the side deck would be Mystical Space Typhoon, and maybe Twin Twister, but mostly Mystical Space Typhoon. You don't really want stuff in the graveyard except for Block Dragon, and sometimes just there are certain spells, face-up spell traps, that you have problems with. He can only negate the activation of a spell trap, so if they're playing a lot of pendulums or something, this can be really good to get rid of those and stop their plays before they really get going. Everything else is basically just reference to the other version of this deck that you can play, the more Magnet Warrior focused one. All the Magnet Warriors, in addition to the effect I mentioned, have the ability to tribute themselves during their opponent's turn and summon out the original Magnet Warriors, Alpha, Beta, and Gamma, which are of course normal monsters that don't really do much, but you combine that with Magnet Field, which is this field spell, which is the most important effect is once per turn at the end of the damage step when an Earth Rock type monster you control battles an opponent's monster and that opponent's monster is not destroyed, you can return it to the hand. So there's a pretty good deck running with these where you can like make rank 3 plays or just search through to get Bergeron or Valkyrion. And then if your opponent tries to attack, you can just tag out for one of the earlier ones, and if they try to destroy those in defense mode, they're just getting sent back to the hand by Magnet Field. Magnet Field also lets you, if you control a level 4 lower Earth Rock type monster, target 1 Magnet Warrior in your graveyard and special summon it. Which of course these aren't Magnet Warriors, but all the littler ones. So you can make a good like rank 4/rank 3 turbo that also sends stuff back to your hand using those, which is pretty nice, but I thought it was better to just go with the Imperion Magnum Turbo. He's just so powerful of a card, it doesn't really matter. And you don't really need the Magnet Field for this version of the deck. Although I might consider side decking it just against certain things. If they're playing like Beal's Turbo or something that can't be destroyed by battle, this might be a good option. There's also this Magnet Reverse that's target a machine or rock type monster that's banished or in your graveyard that can't be normal summoned or set and special summon it. This can be really good under certain conditions, but it's kind of tricky the way it works. Basically, if you properly summon Valkyrion or Bergeron, you can then use this to summon them out of the graveyard. But if you just use Polymerization to put them there, this isn't going to work, and this can't summon Imperion Magnum. So I tried it at first. If you're making one that uses the Alpha, Beta, and Gamma to actually summon this, then this is a really good card. But in this deck, not so much. You can also throw in an Upstart Goblin if you want to go a little bit faster. I had another rank 3 in here. These aren't really... I just had to fill up the extra deck, basically. So anyway, there's your deck profile for this week. I hope you enjoy. Next week, I'll be looking at Ghost Tricks once again. We're going to see if we can make some people feel the burn. Until then, good luck. Have fun.